And we are live. Okay, so it says, well, this is lost. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so, Nick, will you take the role of Sid Noble, head of research and development?
Yes.
And, Kaya, if you will take the role of Ruth Gibson, team representative.
Yep.
And then, I guess I'll kind of take the other three, I guess. We don't have enough people for this, but, so we should have read the unpopular pay plan and viewed the different individuals. But now that you know which role you'll actually be playing, I'm going to give you like 5 to 10 minutes to review the perspective of the person you've been assigned. And that, yeah, the more we really act out our characters, the more fun it will be, the better discussion.
So wait, who do I have?
You have Sid Noble, head of research and development.
Sid Noble. Do you know where it talks about?
Sid Noble.
I think it's right after it says any questions, and then Sid Noble speaks.
Yeah, I think he was the very first person.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it here. Thank you. Oh, okay, there it is. I found it.
All right, how do you guys feel about your roles?
Good.
I think good.
Okay, so I'm going to take the role of Gilbert. Okay, so welcome to the Top Chem Pay Committee meeting. As you know, Sam Verde has asked me to lead this committee. Although I worked hard on the initial plan, I realized that no plan will be successful without support from employees. So I want to get your input as so we can create a pay plan that will be best for everyone. So let's take a few minutes and brainstorm ideas for a pay plan. Since there are so few of us, I will just open the floor, and any ideas, call them out. Good or bad, doesn't matter. Not legally.
Are we supposed to be acting out like the role of the guy now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'll throw one out. One idea for pay is to have a base pay that is not just a fixed base pay that has variable bonuses available for increased quality. Similar to the initial plan that I put forth, except instead of it being 75% base pay and 25% variable, it would be 100% fixed plus bonuses, so that there's still incentive, but if it doesn't happen, like, people won't buy it.
Okay, I don't like the idea of teamwork. I think that we've taken teamwork far enough. We need to free up our employees, especially my team. I bring in high-quality scientists, and they're good at what they're doing. How can we expect to bring in the best when their pay depends on the performance of their team members? I think with the route that we're taking, we're going to lose our good employees in the business.
Okay, so what do you suggest as a compensation plan to help bring in the best and keep them here, but also that is congruent with our new processes?
Probably not put other people's pay really in other people's hands. Make it more, you can get your own, you make your money what you're worth, and not depend it on your team members' performance.
Okay, so it kind of keeps the same compensation that we have, where just everybody gets paid their own salary.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
So I think from what Ruth is saying is just she thinks that they should be getting compensation for like their overtime pay, like the overtime working and working all the extra hours that they are, to be able to have shipping, to be able to ship products less than what they're usually doing and to have less defect items. I think that's what she's saying.
Okay. So these are all ideas that we talked about at our first meeting. So let's see. So one of our experts said that one of the things we could do is have a gain sharing plan where basically the gains that are derived from the group or team are shared between the corporation and the members of the team. So instead of what we had initially discussed as a profit sharing plan that was tied to the health of the economy and the financials of the company, which, you know, as employees, we don't have any control over, which I know Sid was one of your concerns, that, you know, you didn't want people to have their pay depend on what they couldn't control. So what if instead we have a portion of the gains from everybody's effort, that everybody's efforts produce, gains from the company, and a portion of those gains for your efforts are returned directly to you as employees. I don't know if that makes sense, but what if we have like a base pay, and then depending on the performance of everybody, like the gains that come from those improvements would go directly back into your paychecks or
I see positive and negative results from that. Positive is it could give people more incentive to work harder, because maybe as an overall the reward or the gain would be bigger. But the negative side could be certain employees could get lazy and kind of expect, oh, if the group's doing good, I don't have to do my part. So I see both sides of it from that point of view.
Okay. Let's see. So we're brainstorming right now for pay plans.
So are we still role playing, or are we giving our own ideas now?
Both. So we're role playing as our person, but we're supposed to be brainstorming. Here, I'll read you what it says. So it says, begin by asking the committee to brainstorm ideas for a better pay plan. Try to write down at least 20 ideas from the group. We have coffee. Just different, anything you can think of that would be a better plan, trying to come from your person's perspective, but at this point, sorry, we have four. At this point, any ideas for a new pay plan that will work better than the initial pay plan offered?
Well, I like the base plan thing, and then having a little bit of teamwork incentives on top of personal incentives for their own personal work. Like a little bit of both, I guess.
Yeah.
At my ex-roommate's company, they do base pay, and then they get like points for how well the team does in selling or the store does, and then they have like individual compensation pay for how well they do selling.
Yeah, it's similar to like a commission.
Yeah.
But for a team instead of just individual.
Yeah.
One thing with maybe not role playing for Sid because he doesn't want the teamwork, but I think maybe dividing it up within teams would maybe keep it competitive and maybe keep people wanting to find new things and improve the performance. I think that would be a positive result for it.
So like everybody has a base pay, and then each each team is given like an amount that they can give as bonuses to whoever they think is the best. Is that what you're?
Yeah. And especially like if a team periodically is superior in performance, maybe they could even get a higher base pay, or I don't know, something that would make them more encouraged to keep that performance high, or maybe a team that's lacking, make them more encouraged to be the team that has higher performance.
What do you guys think about the getting rid of 15% of? So basically, anybody who doesn't want this kind of a pay.
Like get rid of the people who don't want that type of pay.
Yeah, Gail Porterfield mentioned like, what if we just offer a voluntary severance? So anybody who doesn't want to be part of like the team pay can just leave the company, and then we'll go forward with the initial plan.
I think that might be good because it shows that the people who are not really committed to wanting to work as a team, and they're just wanting to work as by themselves, but it's important to work as a team. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. So one thing to think about is, was it Tom Nyberg, a senior business systems specialist in the management information systems group with the Monsanto World Headquarters Site Administration in St. Louis, Missouri, said that our initial plan is too complicated. Organizations will not support what they do not understand. So, one thing we want to make sure is that our ideas aren't too complicated.
Just so everyone kind of simple, so everyone can understand them.
Yeah, because right now, the way our initial plan was we had 75% fixed pay, and then flexible pay was broken up into 25% of former pay, which was determined by 30% quality, 25% unit cost to market, 20% speed to market, 10% safety and environmental compliance, and 15% divisional financial performance. And that was for 5% annual improvement. But I think what he's saying is that our team doesn't know these numbers. Like, they're hard to remember. You can't tell exactly what. Like, it's hard for them to track them. They're not looking at these numbers on a daily basis. And so having their pay tied up in that is hard.
Yeah, I didn't realize that is confusing with all that. Different percentages.
Also, something we need to think about with the at-risk pay is what kind of a message it will send to our people.
What kind of message the percentages will send?
Yeah, just like the at-risk pay. So, like, if you don't improve this much, then you won't get paid as much. I think that's considered at-risk pay, and what kind of a message that sends. Let's see. So these are just ideas. Okay. Michael Beer says that Tom Kim's team seem to be working well, so why change the pay system? Says that pay is usually a distraction and it really improves teamwork. So that's an interesting thought. So we don't have 20, but that's okay. Let's go through these and discuss the pros and cons.
All right.
Okay. So, the fixed rate, so having a fixed base pay that has variable bonuses available for increased quality. So if one team increases in quality more than another, they would get a bonus, kind of thing. So what are some pros for that?
Keep them motivated, keep them wanting to do new things. And maybe the teams that's performing less, maybe it would make them have more of an incentive to work harder. Another option I thought, if we needed more, maybe instead of using pay, you could use something like a trip on a cruise or a trip somewhere or certain time off or something like that too.
Like that.
Yeah, that's my roommate's company does. It's a mix of both.
I think that'd be good.
Okay. So basically, it would be providing okay, my brain is totally shot. Let's see what I'm looking for. It would be a reward for increased productivity. Would be like a trip or an incentive. It would kind of be like a recognition. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Now that might be more encouraging for the employees too.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so as we go through these, I kind of want you to think about which is better: guaranteed pay that is the same for all employees based on market rates and or seniority, or incentive pay that is linked to performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What was that? Wait, what was that first one you said? Base.
So pay that is the same for all employees based on market rates and or seniority. So basically, if the market rates go up, everybody's pay goes up. Everybody's paid the same, no matter if you're a scientist in research and development, or if you're a packaging person, or if you're, one of the managers. Everybody is paid the same. If the market rates go up, the market rates go up, and maybe seniority would have a little bit of, like, people who have been there longer would have a little bit more of pay. Or, so that kind of a system, or a pay that is linked to performance. So, like, if you do really well, you get paid more. Which do you think is better?
I don't know if they should all be paid on the same level, like you were saying, because like managers shouldn't get the same pay as beginning staff, I guess. Performance may be a good option, but yeah, I don't know.
I kind of think it'd be good if they mixed and matched some of that, because with getting paid on the market, that kind of seems like a bad idea. But I think the people that's worked there longer and has proved themselves, I think that they should get better pay. But then on the other side, I think people that outperform someone else should get better pay too. So I think if they mixed and matched both of those.
Right. There's nothing more frustrating than working at a job for like a year and a half or more, and then having a new employee come in that's paid more than you when you're working really hard. But then at the same time, there's also nothing more frustrating than being there for, several weeks, and you have just a really incompetent coworker who's been there for 3 years and is being paid a lot more than you. But you're really incompetent. So
yeah.
Trying to find some kind of a balance between the two. Okay, so pros and cons of staying the same. Everyone is paid their own salary, kind of the original payment plan that they had before they did the upheaval of the system. Some pros I can see of that is that everybody's used to it. You won't get any backlash from people. And I mean, it's worked so far, but it doesn't. But some of the cons is it doesn't quite it isn't quite in keeping with their new focus as a company, and it might not give the best incentive to produce really well. But then I also have a problem with this whole thing. And my problem with this whole thing, and maybe this is just me, but in the very first reading for the first half of the week, didn't it talk about, or no, maybe it was last week when we were talking about motivation, didn't it all say that, pay doesn't have very much to do with motivation?
Yeah.
Yep. You don't motivate people to do better by paying them more or less. You want to give them enough money that money isn't an issue, that they're not sitting there going, I don't have money to feed my family, but they're also not going, I have too much money, I don't know what to do with. I don't have to go to work again. But you also don't want money to be your incentive, because people don't really produce more because of the more money. So I have kind of an issue with this whole discussion, and maybe that's just me, and I know this is recording, but it seems
I don't know.
kind of counterproductive to me, because I think it doesn't matter how they pay them. As long as the people feel that they're paid fairly and for the work that they're doing.
Yeah,
I agree too.
Sorry, I know that was probably a really bad thing to say as a group leader. I'm supposed to be fostering discussion, and instead I'm no, this is stupid. I don't know, that's kind of how I feel in group projects. And I'm I will work really hard if I know that my grade is dependent on it. But it also is really frustrating when my grade is dependent on everybody else's work,
Yeah, that is irritating. Especially
especially when you work really, really hard and other people, you know, like we've all been in those groups.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of how I feel about this whole analysis. Like, part of it is like, yeah, it's a really good idea. You need to work in teams. It's the whole, it goes back to the diversity and getting lots of different ideas to come out with best. Give me just a second. I have to go get my son at PE.
All right. So do you have anything planned for this weekend?
I think I'm going to Pocatello tomorrow. And then I'm going to go to the dance on campus on Saturday.
What kind of dance is it?
It's just a Disney-themed dance.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yep. I went last semester. It was good.
You dress up as characters or something?
You can do whatever. Some people dress up. Some people just wear fancy costumes. Some people don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like fancy dresses, I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Hello, baby.
Just so bad. Seriously, my doctor today, he was like, how is he sucking on that? Like, with that bad, those ear infections, that should really hurt, but he seems to be doing it. Anyway. Okay, so let's go through some of these questions since the pros and cons kind of are. We already discussed them as we came up with them. So if you do use an incentive pay system, how much of that pay should be based on performance and how much should be guaranteed? So they, in their example, in their initial example, they had 17 or 75% guaranteed and 25% dependent of performance. So if you do use an incentive pay system, how much do you think should be on performance and how much do you think should be guaranteed? Kai, why don't you answer this?
How much on performance and how much on what?
Guaranteed. Like, how much should be guaranteed?
I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
I definitely think more should be guaranteed than performance.
Yeah.
Maybe like 60-40 or 70-30.
Yeah, I was thinking
Like
70-30. Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking like 90-10.
That's probably be better. I did even.
I was thinking also 80-20.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me is like, I don't know. I guess why do you think that? So why do you think 70-30, Nick? Why do you think 80-20, Kaya? And then I'll talk about my 90.
70 because they definitely need the guaranteed pay, but 32 maybe would keep it competitive between the teams. Competitive enough to see progress and performance increase or better performance.
Yeah. Same with me, I guess, except I guess with mine it'd be like less percentage towards performance. I kind of think 70-30 is probably better so that they have to work harder to get that better percentage. I don't know.
I guess for me, I guess the reason I'm thinking more like 90-10 or 85-15, something like that, or 75-15 or something like that is more than 85-15 is right. I guess maybe that's just because like as an employee, like I have to pay the mortgage, and I want to know like that I'm gonna have enough money to pay all my bills, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, but then again, it depends because if you're making $200,000 base pay, like it doesn't matter if that's your 70%. You know, either you're making a lot of money or you aren't. Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you do use an incentive pay system, is it better to tie pay to individual performance, team performance, company performance, or a combination?
Honestly, I've only
I think
ever
a
been.
combination.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just said I think a combination.
I guess I've really never been paid where it's a combination, and I've always been with individuals, so I would think individual, but I can see where they would both have advantages and disadvantages, so that's individual.
Yeah. I think that if I did have, like, I think I would probably do some kind of combination between individual and team. Because I do think it's important to have everybody in the team contributing, because in a lot of the groups that I've been in, where, you know, the ones that we talked about, where one person ends up doing all the work, or you know, teams kind of like business taking. This whole platform of, you know, we work better alone kind of thing. It's really easy to not, I guess, to just do it individually without asking for any help.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of it, I think, it is important to work as a team. Like, it is important, even if you have to kind of drag people along. It's important to get their ideas and their output. I mean, that's the whole thing we've learned about diversity, is how vital it is that we get different opinions of our own, because they all have something to add. So I think having some of it tied up in team is good, but I also think that it is really frustrating when you have a dysfunctional team. And so having so maybe it would be like 70% guaranteed, and then like 20% individual, and then 10% team.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that, where you're still getting more money if you are working really well as an individual, but if you're like working really well as a team, then
yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that.
I have a hard time with the company performance, because it's just, especially depending on the size of the company. Like, if you're with a company like Walmart and you're a cashier, like, getting your company's performance, having your pay depend on your company's performance, is like, you don't have a lot of contribution to that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I just talked a lot, so I'm gonna let you guys kind of already talked about this, but it says, will incentive pay increase employee motivation? Why or why not?
I think a little bit of both, because yes, they'll want to get more money, but at the same time, no, because we talked about last week about motivation. Pay does not really motivate like other things may motivate more.
So Nick, if you agree with that, right? That, like, wait, what's your stance on it? Actually?
No, I was following those same guidelines. Maybe pay wouldn't motivate as much, but a trip or some sort of prize or something to reward them better.
Mm-hmm.
So if incentive pay doesn't increase employee motivation, it's kind of, I'll agree that mostly it doesn't. It kind of does every now and then, but not a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other reasons to use incentive pay other than motivation?
Maybe kind of what we already talked about, how long the person's worked there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other ones I can't think of them right now.
I have a hard time because I'm like, if it's incentive based pay, then isn't the whole point of it to incent people to give people
Yeah.
stuff, which is motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now we need to, so let me run through our ideas again. And then we need to choose a solution. So we have the fixed base pay that has variable bonuses available. We have staying the same, so everyone is paid their own salary, based on hierarchy and seniority. Have a general pay, but allow for overtime. So instead of being salaried, you're basically by the hour with overtime for over 40 hours. We have having a base pay and then the profits. If the company does really well. We have a base pay, and then each team is given money to give to someone who did really well. Or if the team did really, really well as a whole, then maybe that whole team will get a bonus. We have the option of getting rid of 15% of the people, mainly people who didn't want to work in the team, and paying the rest based on the initial plan that they mentioned earlier. And then we have using trips or gifts as incentive rather than pay. And maybe not as incentives, but more as rewards or recognition. So what do you guys think is the best approach?
I like the 70-30-10, not 70-20-10 that we talked about. But I also like the trips incentive as well. So.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I was the same exact thing, because I like that. The way you divided it in that last section, the 70-20-10, and then as a reward to a trip or a prize of something.
Yeah, like a yearly thing or something.
Yeah.
So having like a 70-20-10, and then the team that did the best would get like a trip.
Yeah.
Or the individual that did the best.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will report to Sam on the areas of disagreement, and then ask how he wants the committee to proceed. So you can relax out of your top 10 roles. Which we kind of already did. So what do you think? Again, we kind of already talked about this, about what you think the best approach to compensation and top PM is. We kind of went through.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that you guys were talking for yourselves when you said this 70-20-10 and recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the final wrap up and feedback. What do you think is the most important thing that you learned from Kaya?
I really like the ideas of doing the 70-20-10s, like the base pay, the team work pay, and then the personal achievement pay. I think that's what I learned and liked the most.
What about you?
Sorry,
Nick?
what you cut out during that question? What was it?
Oh, what is the most important thing you learned?
Probably that pay doesn't necessarily need to be used as motivation, but at the same time, when you have benefits or rewards, that it can keep the performance high and keep the competition, so it improves, I guess you could say.
So let's rate the overall quality of today's discussion from 0 to 10. Kaya?
Probably like a 9 to 10. It was really good.
I was gonna say 9, so 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I'd probably say 8, just because I think that the role playing didn't work quite as well as it should have.
Mhm.
Partially just because
Yeah.
we didn't have very much information on the background of these people. But other than that, I think the discussion went really well.
Mhm.
So as discussion leader, what did I do that you liked?
All of the ideas and input you added to the discussion.
You played the.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you, Kaya. Nick's cutting out.
You didn't hear me?
No, I heard you played. And then
All right. I think just being involved, playing the roles, helping answer the questions, knowing really what was going on in the case, who said whose opinions was against whose, and I think just that.
And what can I do better next time?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. I think I could have been a little bit more prepared. But
I thought it was good, so.
okay. I think that's the end of our discussion. Stop the broadcast.